Hello everybody, it's your boy TapMana, and today we have a Kamigawa Neon Dynasty pre-release kit that we're going to be cracking, as well as trying to build a deck that we would use as if we were in a pre-release tournament or some type of sealed. So let's get right into it. I also have my pink matching matte Dragon Shield sleeves so that these cards aren't damaged. And I'm curious what to see. I honestly did not look too much into this set. I actually introduced it this last Tuesday for 2-Pack Tuesdays. Okay, here's our box. Here's our packs. 1 and a 2. Three, 4, 5, 6. That's what we'll need to build our deck with. I'm not sure how long this video will run, but I am going to try to keep it expedient because I know we all have stuff to do now. This is what the inside looks like. And here is our, oh, that's nice. I don't know if it comes through in the camera, but there's this nice little cream yellow speckle, whatever it is. But this is clean. I like this. Cool. All right, so we have our pre-release stuff out of the way. This isn't like the bundle boxes that you get where if you peel it, you get cool artwork. It's just plain, which is kind of lame. I guess, so Wizards, if you do see this, put artwork in here so that at least people can try to do something with it. I mean, if you're going to be minimizing and recycling, you can at least make the most out of your product if you're going to hope that your products stay on the shelf of whoever opens them. Oh, this is cool. Kaito Shizuki. And if I'm mispronouncing any of the names that we run into here, I greatly apologize ahead of time, and I'll probably apologize again. So here's actually the steps that we'll need for most people. The way you structure your deck can increase your chances of having the right cards at the right time. Most successful pre-release decks are 2 colors and have exactly 40 cards. 15 to 18 creatures, 5 to 8 other spells, and then try varying the mana costs to form a curve that looks like this. And then they show examples of the different curves. 17 lands essentially is what we're looking for. So 23 spells. When in doubt, ask for advice. At a pre-release, you can ask other players for help, and you can adjust your deck throughout the day if you're not satisfied with it. I found this to be very true, unless if you're running into someone who's just super competitive and just, or just, you know, antisocial and just there for the competition only. Most people will actually be happy to share some help, especially if they want, you know, if it's all in good fun. And it looks like our pre-release card is a tribute to Hirobi. We'll open this because I don't know if you would actually, I think you can use this card, but I won't be using this card likely just for the sake of keeping it within the packs. And tokens. So we'll need these tokens probably. We'll set that down there. So what this does is each opponent creates a 1/1 black rat. Wow, each opponent creates a rat rogue and then exile this saga, return it to the battlefield transformed. And oh, when this enters the battlefield, gain control of all rat tokens. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature if you do draw a card. Echo of Death's Wail. That's pretty intense. We'll set that over there. Okay, and here's the arena code for whoever wants it, because I'm not really on arena, so enjoy that. You're welcome. I'll try to do that more on the videos, too. If I run into the codes and I'm not giving away the box or the pack, I'll give away the arena code for sure. So we're just we're not slow rolling these packs in any way. I'm just gonna go straight into dividing them by color, because that's exactly how I would do it in my own pre-release experience. So let me get that here. There we go. I gotta make it make sense for me, sorry. Some of this stuff, you might see some parts getting cut out or some more editing done, but that's just simply because this might be a longer video than expected, but it's an experiment. A very fun one, I would say. I'll try to keep it on the camera's light so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm putting the lands and artifacts and multicolored aside. Again, I don't know too much about this set. I do know it does look freaking awesome, though, as far as the artwork. And then we have a reality chip showcase. Look at that anime, though. Sheesh. And a Jungle Hollow dual land. I also do set aside the rares, because the rares are usually a little bit more, if not a lot more powerful than your typical card. So normally in a pre-release, in my experience, they give you anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to make your deck. I'm going to go ahead and try to keep it between that 15 to 20 minute mark, just so you guys know that if you did have more time, great. But if not, you can kind of know what my experience is when going on the run. And if I do see cards while I'm going through these that I do think stand out, I'll set them aside as well, thinking, I might want to use that. That's pretty cool. Reveal Skyward, cool. Mobilizer Mech, just getting so neat with these cards. And what I pick from are either the piles that have the most powerful cards that I'm seeing as I'm going by, or the pile that has the most cards. But if I don't have a really uneven pile of anything, I just start mixing them up and just start looking through them more. All right, March of the Otherworldly Light. What I'm looking for when doing a pre-release is synergy. And if I don't find too much synergy off the bat, then I'm just really looking for card advantage, anything that helps speed up my side of the board. There we go. Oh, I got lost in a moment. Looking for low casting cost things, easy to cast cost type of stuff. Uncharted Haven. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a great week so far. I know changing things up has been a new challenge for me, and I'm enjoying it. It's interesting. I thought this would be a really good opportunity to show a little bit more educational sides of me, in which we can show off, hey, this is what I would do, you know? Restoration of a Django. So we do have a lot of white. A lot more white than we do of the other colors here, so. Ninja's Kunai. Love that they added that. You can equip creature has tap 1, tap this, and it'll deal 3 damage to any target. Only costs 1. Love this. That's going into my equipment deck and a separate equipment deck. It's just a 1-drop, and I love it. I know there's another 1-drop in there that probably isn't as good. Just a little mini Kunai lightning bolt, essentially. Okay. So yeah, it looks like everything's kind of an even stack. White and blue's kind of feeling a little bit more powerful from what I'm seeing here. Narika Yamazaki, the poet. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast a target enchantment card from your graveyard this turn. That is really neat. I'm not paying attention too much to the types of cards, but oh, we got a Sky Dragon. Oh, yeah, we're probably going to be playing white, but we have a Dragon Spirit. Oh, the Dawn Sky. So this is a 5-drop flying vigilance, and when it dies, you choose one, which is either look at the top 7 cards of your library, or put 2 1/1 counters on each permanent you control that's a vehicle or a creature. Okay. That's going to go in the rare pile there. Super powerful stuff here. Down to the last 2 packs. Not like your typical opening where we're focusing on artwork and aesthetic of the cards and just searching for cool cards. This is really all about just building something on the go with new cards that you've never really seen before. And luckily I can see the amount of time that's being recorded. I have that set up so I can kind of time myself and be fair about it. But with the editing, I guess you won't really be able to tell after. Usually, for those of you who don't know, I try to do my best to take everything in one take. So if there's a little, part where you see a little transition, that's likely because something happened or there was a noise or something that prevented me from proceeding. March of the Swirling Mist Showcase. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile any number of blue cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Exile up to X target creatures, or up to X target creatures phase out. That's actually pretty cool. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble speaking right now. That was like loss of English right there. The spirit tokens are on point. Can we just give a round of applause for the spirit tokens? And then we have a really cool mountain that we might just want to use in the deck if we end up adding red. So I'd say I've added a couple minutes tops by just slowing down here and looking at a couple of the cards and speaking them aloud. But in reality, that's what you're going to be doing anyways, because you're going to stop. You have to stop and look at the cards. So I guess part of this is how fast you're able to process the information. And at some point, you just got to make an executive decision. If you're not able to really take your time, if you have a short amount of time that you can really build your deck and have all the lands ready and everything, then I just recommend going to the basis of looking at casting cost and however many cards and what piles you have to go with. So you just don't, oh, Roadside Reliquary, that's pretty cool. But other than that, that's the best thing you can do, in my opinion. Others might give you other advice. Okay, so we have a Satsuki Living Lore, white green. This is another white green rare that we have there. The Fall of Lord Konda, and then a beautiful Plains. What are we doing with the art here? I really honestly would just buy a couple of boxes of this just to have those lands. I mean, I guess you could order the lands separately. Maybe I'd just do that, right? Okay, those are our packs. Looks like what we have here, the most of, from what I'm feeling off the top, is white, black, and then blue, and then they kind of just fall from there. But as far as our powerful cards, we have green, white, green, blue, blue, white, white, and blue. So we might just take white and blue, and then we can splash green in there if needed. And then we can just take a quick look at these rares to see if there is any synergy. This is pretty cool. I don't know how much blue I'll have in here, but considering the top rares are just half and half, we can see if they work with each other. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. As long as reality chip is attached to a creature, you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. This is good. I like this. It's a low casting cost. It's a legendary enchantment, and it's a legendary artifact, creature, equipment, jellyfish. So it's actually already a creature, but you can attach it to another creature. And when you do that, you can play lands and spells from the top of your library. But this already being out gives me library advantage. I can a little bit more information than my opponent. And March of the Otherworldly Light, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of target white cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exile this way. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. Okay, so this I really like as well. Very similar to the March of Swirling Mist. They're two different marches. You exile, and it gives you, and it basically costs 2 less to cast for each card this way. But that's crazy that it can count for X. Wow. Okay. Anyways, now that we know that we're going to be playing white and blue, not sticking around to it. I mean, we've already seen that there's modes on Owl, the Dawn Sky. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put any number of non-land permanent cards with total mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order, or put 2+1/+1 counters on each permanent you control that's a creature or vehicle. And then we have our reality chip. So we're going to pick those. Those are our main 4 cards. We have 2 instances and 2 creatures with it. So we're going to keep that in mind. What I do with the rest of these cards is just set them aside, honestly. I'm not going to really be looking to them unless if I run out of actual spells that I really think would work for these 2 synergies, or for these 2 colors. If they're really fighting the synergies there, I'll change my plans last minute. But at this point of the pre-release, I know that I want to have a good edge against my opponent. So I'm going to go ahead and look for things that don't actually require a specific casting cost first, such as artifacts or artifact creatures, any type of colorless spell, really. So right here, we have a mana dork for 2. Add this, but you can only do it to activate an ability or cast an artifact spell. So this might work if we have a lot of artifacts. We have a Patchwork Automaton. We want the Ninja's Kunai. That's going to be useful. We have another Automated Artificer. And then we have a Contaminated. Whenever you discard a card, we're not going to be... Let's see here. Yeah, we're exiling cards from our hand, but we're not discarding. So that's not really going to be useful. We don't need that. And then we have Mana Ramp. Whenever this enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it into your hand and shuffle, and then you can tap 2 and sacrifice this to put... So we're going to do this. We're going to keep this. That's going to go along right there. That's just Mana Ramp. And then we have some more mana. And let's see if we have any blue-white mana that we can... What's this? Whenever you can draw a card if you control an artifact, draw a card if you control an enchantment. We're going to keep that as for our mana base here. Tranquil Cove. Perfect. And in a 40-card deck, it's not like Commander where you're restricted to only having 1 of each type of card. You can have up to 4 of any one card, unless if it's no, I don't know if there's any exceptions to that. I haven't played Standard in a long time, but I do know that you can play 4 of anything, and then you can play however many basic you want. So this, you can choose a color, and then you can, we'll do that. That's just letting us have whatever white or blue we want. Then we have more white, green color here. What is this here? We don't have any vehicles. This is not really going to be useful for us, so we set those aside. Since our creatures are kind of even right over here, one's an easy casting drop. So let's go ahead and do a quick count. We want to get about 23 spells here total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me get that better in frame. Sorry, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me adjust completely so that we can make this a clear experience for you, the audience. Ill-prepared. It is okay, though. Okay. I'm going to separate them by color and then type. Okay, so we have our artifacts, creatures, and then we have some instances out. And then we have our land base. We have our mana base right here. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna add that first of all. That's gonna go in there. We want all the cool lands, so let's get all the cool lands. We set this aside. We're done with that. All right, we'll start with blue and see if there's any low casting cost things that can help us. We want to have a strategy at this point. So right now we know we can use this if we get it to look at the top card of our library at any time and then play from our library if we can attach it by then. This one allows us to exile any number of blue cards from our hands to make certain X number of creatures phase out. This one just really, we're going to be leaning on the second mode if it dies. We're going to be trying to kill with it, but put 2+1/+1 counters on each permanent that's a creature or vehicle. So we're going to be leaning towards more creatures. This one allows you to exile any number of white cards from your hand, and then you can exile, you can pretty much exile stuff. So we want an even amount of both cards right here. We kind of have pretty even blue-white if you ask me. So we have 6 cards total. Got 17 more to look at. I'm just going to kind of skim these and then whatever stands out. Sometimes I'll really try to grab the ones that I have multiple of so that I can have a consistency that I can look for, like Spell Pierced. Counter non-creature spell unless its controller plays blue. So I put that under my instances right there. I'm looking for synergies, things that'll I can rely on looking for, really. 1-drop, flying 1/1, and when it enters the battlefield, tap target permanent. So I've looked through some of the blue cards. It kind of makes me want to look through some of the white cards here. Some might go all one color or all one type efficiency, such as mana ramp, looking at both colors for mana ramp, or looking at both colors for combat. I'm really just looking at one color at a time and then just finding cards that I think would work well with each other. So light the way, put a +1/+1 counter or target permanent you control, return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. That's actually pretty cool if I needed it. Right here, this is what we want. Lucky Offering, destroy target artifact with mana value 3 or less. You gain 3 life. That's a good sorcery to have. We'll put that right here under there. Era of Enlightenment. Scry 2, you gain 2 life. When exile this saga, return it to the battlefield under your control. And then it becomes a cool 2/2 human monk, and it only costs 2. So that's going to go right here. We're definitely making way right now. There's no actual section that anything's in. It's all just for the view. But I am trying to keep the creatures in one line if possible. Right here is perfect, right? Enchantment creature, 1/1. When it enters battlefield, draw a card. Like I said, card advantage. We want to get some of that going. Okay. So let's do a little count. We've added, so we're at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're almost halfway there. So now we can just kind of slow down. We have probably 10 minutes left on the clock. If anyone was checking our clock, that's how much time we have left. Might be a little bit more, actually, because I started the video with the introduction and everything. But right here, when this becomes tapped, scry 1, this stands out right there. Just looking at any type of... So this works well with the reality chip, as you can look at the top card of your library already. So if you don't like it, you can use this just to scry one. So right now in my mind, I'm looking for other cards that will let me scry or look for that card faster. Covert Technician. Let's see what this does. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may put an artifact with mana value equal or less than to that damage from your hand to the battlefield. Our artifacts only cost 2 or 1, but we don't have that many. We have more right here. We have 1. So we have 3 total. I might go back to that card, but this is actually pretty good. Moon Snare Specialist. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. So this is kind of powerful right here. I would definitely use this. This is the highest casting cost creature next to the Moonfolk Puzzle Maker that we have. Yeah. And then we have another counter here. Let's see if there's any just direct counter spells other than that. Because we want to stop our opponents from being able to do things. Defender, modified creatures you control. We don't have any modified creatures. Mobilizer Mech, the Modern Age. Here we go. The Modern Age. Draw a card, discard a card. Draw. That's the first 2 modes of the saga. And then when you exile it, you basically get a 2/3 flying, and it's only a 2-drop. So that's definitely going into the pile here. Doing a quick count: 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're already nearing up there, so let's go back to our white. We can tell that we're just kind of leaning towards more blue right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 blue spells, and then we only have 5 white spells, so let's kind of even that out if we want to keep it even as possible. Now we want to find more creatures, but it looks like we have a lot of enchantments and enchantment sagas. Lifelink is good. We already have a little life gain going on there. I'm looking if there's any other way for further ramp or advantage. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 if you do create a 1/1 colorless creature token for each shrine you control. Do we have a lot of shrines? No, but we have plenty of sagas. So we might actually turn out making a lot more sagas in this deck than we expect to do creatures. So let's go ahead and get this creature on there. It's only a 3-drop, but you get a 2/3 lifelink out of it, which actually can kind of curve the game whenever you're doing a pre-release there too. Looking for the lower casting cost stuff that'll make a difference. As you can see, I'm getting more into an intense mode because I know that the time is ticking. And I think I also narrate like this in my head while I'm playing, so it's not making too much of it, or while I'm actually doing this, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. This is good. Yeah, now we actually see that. Let's see if do we have any other samurais out? We have a fox monk, we have a ninja. Okay, we don't have too many samurais or warriors, but this, if it attacks, whenever it attacks alone, you may cast a target enchantment card from your graveyard. If we're going to be playing sagas, they're going to go into the graveyard, right? So let's go ahead and throw that in there. Then we have a fox pilot. Let's go ahead and not do that. Restoration of a Ganjo. Search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and you may shuffle. You may discard the card. When you do, return target permanent card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This is good stuff. This is a rare 2. This is going in there. Banishing / destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment, or tapped creature. Then you can, if you control an artifact and an enchantment, create a 2/2 white samurai token. That's powerful right there. So we're going to go ahead and add that there. This is technically a creature, so we're probably going to add this anyways. But oh, we have another samurai here. We're going to add that in there. Whenever it enters the battlefield or dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. And then Intercessor's Arrest. Target permanent can't attack, block, or crew vehicles. Wow. Its activated abilities can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So instead of a counter, if someone successfully gets something out, this would be great. So right now I'm just kind of piling cards in their colorway and then just leaving it alone. But it seems like white has a more power here as far as enchantments go, and then blue kind of has just what blue does, really: flying, tapping, scrying. So let's see what we are here for the count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. So we have 2 more cards we can go with. Let's go ahead and take a quick look back at blue. And sometimes I'd even go as far as looking back at the artifacts that I had to see if anything else there will help. But right now, tap an untapped artifact or pay 1. Counter target spell. This is good enough for me. You can just counter a spell if you're willing to pay the full one, just as much as a cancel. So that's another thing right there. I'm gonna add these cards one more time, seeing if anything really has. So you can discard Mirror Shell Crab, and okay, that's cool. And then we have another Samurai, but it has Defender, but it can attack if I decided to have a mobile vehicle. Mobilized vehicle. Exile opponent controls with this. Wow. And this becomes a human noble defender. When it dies, draw a card. And then they give us that little 5-minute heads up. So I know I'd be hearing 5 minutes until completion. So right now I really just want to get my lands together, and there's usually a land base at the place we're playing if you don't bring your own lands. Luckily I have my own lands. So we'll go ahead and add another Banishing Slash here, since that is a card that we can expect. That's more than one. And I think that does it. Let's go ahead and count everything up. And what I'll do here is I might do a quick cut where I sleeve them. Right now, they usually should be sleeved, so we'll say that the introduction was about 4 or 5 minutes. So we'll add 5 minutes to the clock here, and then that should be the completion of the deck here. So right now I have 8 minutes if my calculations are right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We're going to stick to that formula, 23, and then get our 17 land going. You know what? It's 2 colors, so I just feel too confident. Let's go ahead and get a couple more cards there, and then we'll split the colors that way. What card really spoke to me earlier? I know this is what I would do anyways. Right here is exile target creature, power 4 or greater, or exile target permanent or enchantment. And then we have the Reign of Truth. Yeah, this one's good. We have a lot of enchantments. Okay. So we have our 25 cards, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 cards. Okay, we have our cool neon, or I couldn't find neon pink, but I found pink to try to get our cards sleeved. We'll just grab a grip of these beautiful pink sleeves to match this Kamigawa theme, even though it's neon. Whoops, what did I do there? Gotta grab these lands. I have them, I promise. I like that they're just not right in front of me. Okay, so I guess we'll start sleeving these, and then we'll I might even just do a quick take here. Yep, I've been doing it more, so I might just speed this part up. So I think I've shaken that up enough, but we'll do one of these. And one more for luck. And then our opponent would cut our hand. And then we draw. Oh, no land so far. That's rough. There we go. You see that? That was terrible first draw right there. Okay, so we need to do more of a shuffle. And this might actually show a good example of, hey, why you might want to stick with certain mana ratios, or double check your mana ratios, or consider staying closer to what the main recommendation from Wizards is as how to do a pre-release. But that, again, is just the first draw. And that was if we didn't even test out the draw in the actual tournament, which is probably something we would do anyways. There we go. They're giving us that last call saying 2 minutes till you have to put your hands down. So right now we can do our test. We're going to do a couple cuts there. Let's go ahead and draw 7. Okay. This is looking very nice. Wow, we got the reality chip on the first draw. That's amazing, and a spell pierce. So what I would do here is I would keep. They can choose to let go first, or if I have to go first or go second, whatever. So let's say I go second this time. I go second. I draw my card. I play an island, and then what I'll do is hold, and then wait until the end of my turn or pass. Now what'll happen here is the chances that the opponent's going to play an artifact, creature, anything but a creature, or an artifact, enchantment, anything but a creature. Let's say they try to drop a 1-drop or a 2-drop artifact. We can go ahead and spell pierce that. So we've tapped this. We've got that protection. We've slowed them down. This is crucial in a small deck match like this. You want to just be able to shut them down from the very beginning so that you can just get the advantage. At the end of turn, we draw. We can go ahead and lay our planes out. And then we have a few different options here. We can go ahead and get our creature out. We have our loyal enchantment creature dog. Then we have our human, what do we have? The reality chip. I would probably go with the reality chip first because it's a creature and an enchantment and an artifact. And right here, we now know we have that land. We actually don't even have to play with it revealed. We can just look at it at any time. And then, priority passes our turn. We'll do one more draw. We know what it's going to be. So now we want to look at what the next card is. We know that we have that cool instant. We have a good amount of white cards. So we can just keep their board shut down by literally exiling target artifact, creature, or enchantment mana value. So if they do get that creature out, you can just go ahead and, if it's a 1-drop again or a 2-drop, you can, what I would do here is play an island, tap 3. I'm sorry, not 3. I got excited. I wanted to attack. I'll tap 2 and play Era of Enlightenment because this allows us to scry 2. So when it enters, we'll go ahead and decide whether we want to keep these 2. We have our protection out. We'll go ahead and let that happen. We'll put them to the bottom. Look at the top card of my library. So as you see, this deck actually is working pretty well with itself with the ability of scrying, a few little bit of counters in there, and then just enough creatures to deal that damage. We have lifelink. The enchantment sagas are the hidden winners of this deck, I believe, though, because of what they're allowing at the end of the day is just that extra advantage for such a low casting cost. The reality chip is going to be your winner now. If you're looking for combat damage to win out of this deck with combat damage, you are going to be able to win. You're just not going to be able to win as fast because we're playing blue and white. So if you're going to be taking advantage of trying to scry counter so that you can go ahead and get your big dragon spirit out there and then win that way. So that's the pre-release. That's how I would do it, y'all. I hope you guys liked the video. This was definitely something different for me. I definitely wasn't even planning on this specific type of material, but I thought it was fun. I know I didn't go to the pre-release myself, but I went ahead and went to my local game shop, bought this one so that I can go ahead and share with y'all. So that's the end of my video. I hope y'all have a great day. I'm going to end my turn there. I pass.